This is question 8 from exercise 19.3 in Project Maths 2. There has been a problem on a car production line and all the cars need to be recalled for a check. The probability that one of these cars has faulty steering is 0.1 and the probability that it has faulty lights is 0.25. These probabilities are independent of each other. In other words, faulty steering has no link with faulty lights or vice versa. So for part 1 of this question, we have to copy and complete the tree diagram below. So let's take a look. On the first one here, the probability of faulty steering is given up here as 0.1. So it's 0.1, which means that the probability that the steering is okay is going to be 0.9. And now for our probabilities for our lights, these are going to be independent of the probability for our steering. They're not going to have any impact depending on which way we go with this. So faulty lights, which is our first one up here, is going to be 0.25. And probability that lights is okay is going to be 0.75. And it'll be the same for this branch down here. 0.25 and 0.75. Like that. So that's the probability tree completed. Now for part 2, using your answer to part 1 or otherwise, find the probability that a car chosen at random has both faults. So let's check for both faults first. That will mean that on the very first check it's got faulty steering, which goes up on our first check. When we go to our second check, it goes up again. So it's going to be 0.1 multiplied by 0.25, which is equal to 0.025. And that's going to be our answer to part 1, or part 2a. For the next one, we've got the probability that it has neither fault. So that'll mean that the steering is okay, and in our next check, the lights are okay. So that'll be this one down here, and that's going to be 0.9 multiplied by 0.75. And that is going to be equal to 0.675. And that's going to be our answer for B. And then for the last one, the probability that it has only one fault. Well, the probability that only one fault will mean that either the steering is faulty and the lights are okay, or the steering is okay and the lights are faulty. So it's going to be these two middle branches in here. The first one, where we've got faulty steering and okay lights, is going to be 0.1 multiplied by 0.75, which is equal to 0.075. And the next one down is going to be okay steering and faulty lights, which is going to be 0.9 multiplied by 0.25. And that's going to be equal to 0.225. And what we're going to do in order to find the answer for C is we're going to add those two. So we're going to add 0.225 and 0.075. It's going to get 0 and 1, and it's going to add up to 10 again, and 1 over. So it's going to be 0.3. So 0.3 is the probability that any car chosen at random only has one fault. And that is that.